Good morning. I will call the May 20th, 2025 Norfolk Planning Commission meeting to order. Inform the public about the location of the Open Meetings Act in the northwest corner of the building, and ask for a roll.
Waite.
Here.
Sock. Here. Bryant. Hupkey. Franklin. Kuby. Griffith.
Here.
Mason.
Here.
Ronfelt.
Here. I'd ask for approval of the full agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
Please vote.
All commission members present voting in the affirmative. Motion carries.
And consideration of the approval of the minutes of the May 6th, 2025 Planning Commission meeting.
I move to approve.
Second. Please vote.
All commission members present voting in the affirmative. Motion carries.
Consideration of resolution number 2025 PC-6 approving a conditional use permit for an auto recycling salvage yard on property addressed as 807 East Norfolk Avenue. And we will read this into the record. Be it resolved by the Planning Commission of the City of Norfolk, Nebraska, that Speedway Truck and Auto Salvage, Inc. is hereby granted a conditional use permit for an auto recycling salvage yard, subject to the following terms and conditions. A site plan complying in all regards and containing all the information required pursuant to the Norfolk City Code, Section 27-57, and approved as set forth in Section 2757 for the entire property, not just the C3 property which requires this permit, is attached to this resolution and delineates the placement of car bodies, trees, and fence lines. The site plan and provisions of City Code Section 2757 shall be strictly adhered to as a condition of this permit. Trees shall be planted and maintained at the locations set forth in the site plan as approved and shall be subject to all provisions set forth on the site plan. The placement of the trees along the east fence line shall be planted in a manner in which the canopy overhang in each tree resides fully on the Speedway Truck and Auto Salvage, Inc.'s property. The attached site plan is hereby approved and shall be complied with. The permit holder shall exercise rodent control, incorporating all best practices and methodology available. That stacking of car bodies not occur with the exception of crushed cars up to 15 feet high. The required fencing per attached site plan shall be maintained in good condition. If the property ceases to exist and operate as a salvage yard, the salvage inventory shall be removed from the site, not just the C3 property which requires this permit, within 12 months of ceasing operations. Pursuant to the Norfolk City Code, the conditional use permit shall be for 5 years and personal privilege granted to the applicant and shall not be subject to transfer. Failure to observe and maintain the conditions and restrictions of the conditional use permit shall be considered a violation of the Code of City of Norfolk, Nebraska, subject to penalty as provided herein, and may be grounds for review, including alteration or termination of the permit. All procedures and standards outlined in Section 2756 of the Norfolk City Code pertaining to the conditional use permit shall be observed, and the conditional use permit granted herein shall be subject to the provisions of the Norfolk City Code and provide for an appeal to be taken within 15 days of the decision of the Planning Commission. And there shall be compliance with the floodplain and any other applicable city, county, state, or federal regulations that may apply.
There's no discussion. I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2025 PC6, approving a conditional use permit for an auto recycling salvage yard on property addressed as 807 East Norfolk Avenue.
Second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote.
All commission members present voting in the affirmative, Resolution 2025 PC-6 is adopted.
Okay, consideration and recommendation of the final plat of Rehan Farmer Edition. Good morning.
Good morning. Laverne Schwiller representing Rehan Farmer. What we have is just a simple lot boundary change. They're changing the interior boundary back there. If you take a look at your plots, you can see that they're basically squaring up that back line a little bit better, so they don't have such a, so it's more practical to use, and that's all this is boundary change amounts to. It shouldn't affect any building setback or anything. If you have any questions on it? Other than the fact it started a long time ago?
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
thank you. Val, did you hear anything else about, we had talked in subcommittee as far as the sale of the property goes, everything is up
Last I
to-
heard from the realtor, she had spoken to the sellers and the buyers about this change, and everybody knew about it.
Okay,
So we're, as far as I know, good to go on this. And that's what prompted this, because like Laverne said, we started this back in 2020, and it never got finished because I think the understanding was one of the lien holders would not sign off on it, which is why we always ask for lien holders to give the okay, because we are changing, essentially if somebody forecloses, has to foreclose on it as a mortgage company, that legal description no longer exists anymore. You don't have as much land potentially or more land, and so things change, and that's why we do that. So the southern lot is for sale and has a buyer, and so this needed to be finished up before that. Otherwise, we would have really completely had to start over with a new owner.
thank you, Val. I take a motion.
If there's no further discussion, I would move to consideration of recommendation of the final plat of the Rehan Farmer Edition.
Second.
Please vote.
All commission members present voting in the affirmative, motion carries.
And the April 2025 building permit report.
Okay, so for April, single-family detached, we had 4 new ones come in, so we are at 30 this year, 39 this time last year. We did have a duplex come in, so we are 1 and 1. Multifamily, no new multifamily, but we are way ahead with 166 units for this year, none at this time last year. We did have 2 new single-family attached come in, so we are ahead with 10 this year, 4 last year at this time. And the total build evaluation is still approximately 58.4 million higher than last year.
Nice. Thank you, Val. Any other open topics or concerns? Seeing none, I'd take a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Plat for you to sign.
It's not record time, but it's close.
I have pretty.
So technically, we have 15 days to wait before we file it. But we did get a permit for somebody who wants to go ahead and install sent state to rerun it